are sufficiently dried enough when they're leather hard, you can trim the bottoms, and you need to use put a Griffin grip on the wheel head, and then you need to make sure the 3 blue foot pads are on there for you guys. And then you're gonna put one hand on the bottom and hold on to the wheel head, and then you're gonna use the other hand in one of the grips, and you're gonna turn it. Do you see the little blue things getting closer and closer? Until it squeezes against your pot. This is why your pot has to be leather hard. If your pot is not leather hard, these are gonna keep squeezing, and what's gonna happen? It's going to smush. Okay, so you have to make sure that it's tight enough that it holds it. So take your hand and try to move it around a little bit, okay? If your pot is not level, is it going to be level when you trim it? No, it is not, okay? So if it is not level, you need to see me first so I can help you try to level it a little bit with some little pieces of clay. Then you need a loop tool, a ribbon tool, and a needle tool to trim with, okay? You're gonna use your wheel very slow, so you're gonna turn it on slowly, and you're gonna use your ribbon tool first, and you're just gonna put the needle tool down against the bottom of the pot, and this is how you can tell if it's on center. If there's equal space from here to here all the way around, it's on center. So if I use the needle tool and hold it there and then hold it here, it is definitely not centered. Okay, you can see that it's off by a little over a quarter of an inch, close to a half an inch. So is your foot gonna be centered on your pot? No, it's not. But what we wanna do, even when they're not, because you're just starting, is at least get this extra. You have all this thick clay at the bottom. We want to get this trimmed off so it weighs less, okay? Because when you first start to make your pots, they're always way too heavy anyways. So we want to trim all this off. Plus it'll help the outside shape look a lot neater than have it going in and then coming back out where you just cut it off the wheel head, okay? So I want you to do that first because I want you to check to see how close to center you were so you can start to tell, okay? And then you're going to use the loop tool next. And your elbows are still tight against your hips where they always are, okay? Because you have to hold onto your tools and not let them move around. If you let them move around, you're gonna get a big gouge in your bowl. So you're gonna put it up against the edge on the right side carefully, and then you start to get these curls of clay that are called ribbons, okay? I'm gonna put one hand, my left hand on the bottom of this pot because I don't wanna push it off when I push the loop tool against it. So I still use 2 hands, one hand on the bottom, just gently holding it down, and then the other hands I'm going to use to control this outside edge. And you can see that they just start to peel off. You just put it up against the edge gently. It just starts to peel the extra clay off the outside. Do you see how much neater it looks already? It just gets all trimmed up. It happens pretty quickly, okay? Where you're gonna have a whole bunch of thickness is right here on your edge, right where you cut loose. And we wanna try to get as much of this extra stuff off as we can. So you can stop it and see that you're getting a nice profile shape here. Then we're gonna trim it in a little bit more so this gets more narrow like the bottom of an actual bowl. So you're just gonna turn your wheel on again and hold your ribbon tool against the edge. And if you want it to come in more towards the center, you just turn your ribbon tool, tilt it in a little bit. So I'm gonna put it against the outside, following the shape. Then I'm just gonna tilt it in towards the center, towards my finger in the middle. Do you see how it rounds it right away? Okay, so now we get more of a bowl shape real quick, okay? So you use your rib on the inside to make the inside shape. We're gonna use the ribbon tool on the outside to make the outside silhouette shape. And you can trim as much as you want to get as round of a surface as you want, as long as you don't do what? Go through, yes. If you go through, you're gonna have a hole in your bowl that you cannot fix, so you get to start over then. Now, I've been doing it a long time, obviously you're all aware of that, so I can do it really quickly and have it look even. I can also tell by hitting the outside how thick it is. You cannot tell that. So how do you judge your thickness? With your needle tool. Yes, you can pop it off and then put the needle tool through to see how thick it is. So I have a nice silhouette, the outside profile, as nice as I want it now. Remember when we started, this edge was like way out here. So we trimmed all this in here out and got rid of all of that extra clay weight that we don't need. Now we're actually gonna make the foot on the bottom of the bowl. Remember, that's that little donut ring that you want it to sit on. So we wanna take a little bit out of the middle here. So we're gonna switch tools and use the ribbon tool for this one instead of the loop tool. And this is why I have you put this little circle. So you're gonna use the squared edge up against the edge of your circle and just touch down gently. See how I have my elbows still anchored at my hips, okay? And I have one finger on the bottom of the bowl to help hold the bowl down so it doesn't tip or fall off. And then I'm just gonna press lightly to take a little bit of clay out of the middle. The middle of your bowls are probably gonna be really thin, so don't let your tool dig down in real far or you're gonna go right through the bowl, okay? I can already tell this is very, very thin, so I can't make a very deep foot on here. But what I'm gonna do is trim more of this out of here. So the point of putting a foot on the bottom is to help eliminate some more of that weight and help to elevate your bowl off the surface of the table or whatever it's sitting on so it doesn't have as much space that can scratch, okay? So your foot can be as small or wide as you want it to. And you can trim on the inside like I did first, and then I can also trim on the outside so I can get that little notch, okay? You can decide if you want to trim there. Now remember, you always have thicker clay out here because when you're throwing, that's where you pull your walls up from. So you can go a little deeper on the outside of your bowl than you can in the middle. So you can actually trim a ledge on there, okay? And then depending on how you like to trim the middles of your bowl, I just turn the tool to get this a straight edge on here. But a lot of people put a spiral in the center of here. So to do that, you just flip over and use the rounded end. You can see the little dimple right in the middle. That shows you where the middle was. So just put your tool right on the little dimple, go slow, start the wheel turning, and just spiral out from it until you get to this edge. I can't go any deeper because I'm about to trim through the bottom of her bowl, okay? But you can make that spiral in there. You can leave it if you want to. Then, do you have a sponge? Once you're all finished with this, just take a damp sponge, not soaking wet. We want to be able to squeeze it and not have any water come out. We just want to clean this up. Why would we want to clean this off? So it's smooth, yes. So we don't have any rough edges left from trimming. So I just put the sponge on here and hold it gently and smooth. And then I'm going to come right over the edge. Anywhere where I trimmed, I want to hold the sponge to just smooth it. Now be careful on the bottom. If your bottoms are really thin, don't press hard or you're gonna press down through and make a hole, okay? So then when you get all finished, you can take the needle tool or you can get a ball tip sculpting tool and put your initials in the middle, not on the foot. Why not on the foot? When you draw, remember it leaves those little clay pieces, and if you don't clean them off, it's gonna just scratch the table even more. So that's why you wanna put your signature on the inside and not on the foot. When you're done then, one hand on the outside on the bottom of your wheel head again, and then you're gonna open the other way, okay? And then be careful when you lift up, all right? And then you can see you have an elevated surface down here at the bottom where your bowl doesn't sit and it doesn't look like it just plunks down right onto your bat anymore, all right? Then when you have this much,